Yeah, I mean, that was in a favor of him, and that was in the favor of the UFC needing to fill that card. It wasn't in the favor of me. I wasn't quite healed yet. I wasn't quite ready to get back in camp yet. You know, I didn't have like just a rinky-dink freaking injury. I had like a contusion. My leg was completely exploded. Like freaking, my skin was cracking. It was so tight with so much pressure from the blood. So I had to take some time to get that ready. And this is a fight that I want to win, that I want to do well in. I want the proper time to get ready. So I don't care if he wanted me to fight on August 22nd. He was supposed to fight me in September of 2018. So this is 2 years later. So at the end of the day, he ain't in the driver's seat. He lost just like I lost. And what did he do? Lose better? You lost. So at the end of the day, for me, I wasn't finna do something that benefited him. I was going to do something that put us on even playing field. And that was a later date. It was originally the 26th when me switch is done. This is one of the highest anticipated fights. It was one of the last fights to be announced. You see all these other fights that aren't even main events that were announced. There's been really hardly any media behind the fight, any promotion. You got two guys that can't stand each other, and we have heard nothing about it. So what I'm doing is I'm taking it in stride. I'm taking it to focus, to lock in on a fight, locking on a training, and not to have to deal with all the BS. So it's a blessing in disguise for me, but he's very quiet right now. You know, he's not talking as much as he normally is. And if he is, I'm not listening to it. I haven't heard it, but he's focusing in training because now he remember what it's like to be in there with me. He remember what it's like to train with me. And you can only fake the media out so much. Now he has to train. He's in a different camp under different circumstances, and he got to live up to all the stuff he's been talking. So now he's in there training hard, and I like that because I'm in there training hard. And I know the one person is you really, really, really want to know about. Everybody's seen Jorge Masvidal randomly in St. Louis. And then all of a sudden they're seeing a gym with significant red turf that really looks similar to Tyron's gym. Now what's going on? These guys are the same way. These guys could fight. These guys are teammates. He knocked out Ben, who is Tyron's friend. He used to be Colby's friend. He don't like Colby anymore. He fought Usman. You know what I mean? Are they training together? Yeah, we are training together. You know, Masvidal hit me up, and what people don't know is that, one, I'm solid. I'm 100% through and through. So before Masvidal even came here, I called Ben. I said, Ben, I'm going to train with George for this fight. He's asked me to – he want to come out. He want to help me. He want to work with me. And it benefits him as much as it benefits me, to be honest. And I'm not gonna turn down this deal. I don't know how you feel about it, but I can't make his enemy my enemy. And Ben don't really – you hear Ben talk about it. Ben's really not like – he's not an enemy to him. He did what he needed to do to build a fight. It happened the way it happened. It happens. You get up, you get knocked out. We all had it, and if you haven't had it happen to you, unless you could be, you're going to have it happen to you. So I started training with him, and he came out. He had such a good time. He said, you know what? I'm going to go home for a day or two, and I'm coming back out. And he came back out, and we just iron sharpening iron. But what people don't know about me and George, I've trained with George 5 years straight before. Like when I first joined ATT and he was at ATT, you know, we trained hell on wheels, me, him, Thiago Alves, Eve Edwards, Luigi Fioravanti, Chandler. That's all we had. It was our group. And that's what we trained with every day. We helped each other. And then it wasn't that he went up a weight class. I just started going to different camps and getting what I needed. I started going to Wild Card Boxing and getting a boxing. I started to go to Muay Thai Academy and train with Edmund Bibasso to get my Muay Thai. Then I started, you know, bouncing around to camps that gave me what I need for that opponent. Rufus Sport, whatever it was. But I've always been American Top Team, and I've always supported George. If you go back and look at the last 2 or 3 years, you'll see me giving George's credit and being happy for him genuinely that he's finally making the money. So when he did that and reached out, I said, hell yeah, let's get it in. And he's holding me accountable. He was like, man, you can't do that. You got to move this. No, come on. We got to work tonight. We're doing this. We're doing that. Let's go get in the sauna. How much you weigh? So it's really solid that you got two dudes kind of from the same. We both came from the gutter when you really think about it. And we both found a way to stick with it. And we've had a long career because of our IQ and because of we put ourselves in uncomfortable situations in training so that we can thrive in the octagon. And I want to see him do well. I want to see him, you know, continue to make the money and do what he want to do. And he want to see me back on top. But, you know, we've had several conversations even before this happened. You know, Tyron, get your head straight, man. My head was up. And if I focus on one thing, getting the best Tyron out there, I'm going to solve all of those problems. Do I feel like this is for the culture? For sure. And it's not so much that I don't even believe he voted for Trump. I don't even believe he's a true Trump supporter. And what fighter in their right mind makes their whole gimmick, their whole trying to be the heel based upon politics? What if he loses the election? What are you going to do your whole career on? What are you going to do now? You know what I mean? You kind of like limited yourself. And when you think about it this way, what does it have to do with fighting? Nothing. You can vote for whoever the hell you want to vote for. That's on you. You know what I mean? Just make sure you vote. So at the end of the day, he is doing things to get underneath people's skin. He's trying so bad to be the heel, and it's not even received that well. For the amount of energy he puts, the amount of paid freaking Instagram models he try to put around him, he should have 1 million followers. He don't. So it's not even working. So he's failing at trying to be the heel. How do you fail at being the bad guy? You know what I mean? So when I look at it, I can't focus my attention on that because it's not going to motivate me. It's not going to pump me up. It's not going to make me want to do anything. It's going to annoy me, or it's going to make me fight outside of a game plan and just go out there and just try to come up. You know what I mean? I think it's way I can come up, but within a game plan, within strategy, making a miss, making a pay, stopping the shot, making a pay, putting pressure on them, punching them in the face, standing there, bullying them. I think those things are going to make him jump on legs from way far out, swing wide shots, and then he's going to crumble. He's a quitter. Like when you really look at him, when you saw him getting hit in the body by Usman, when you see him, Willie Alves put an arm around his neck, he just has not been in a position many times to quit. But in his mind, he's not a guy that's in the gym training hard. He has a great gas tank, and most of it is natural. Most of it is the way he's building. It's not because he's training so hard. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I don't take on that additional pressure. I don't. You know what I mean? I love my coach. I stand 10 toes down on what I believe, and I don't give a who you are. You're not going to make me budge. If I miss out on millions because of it, I'm going to stand my ground on what I believe in. And I fight for what I believe in. But I'm not going to fight to negate what he's doing because he don't even believe in it. Like, he is the epitome of what's wrong with our culture right now. We got people that are watching other people on social media and they want their lifestyles, or they're doing this because they think it's cool. I'm going to wear a suit because Conor McGregor wore it. I'm going to talk about my opponent because that's what I think we're supposed to do. I do what I do because it's me, and it's what I feel. I'm my own filter. I don't need somebody else to show me what to do. And he's creating controversy. He's creating things. So that's almost worse than somebody that truly is racist, somebody that truly hates people from Brazil. He's creating something that's not even him. That's 10 times worse than someone that just really feels that way. You know, same thing with fucking Colby. Who should I fight next? And can you help me with my media kit? These guys were mentored by me. You know what I mean? They should thank me. So at the end of the day, my name is engrossed into their legacy. Kamaru Usman has no legacy without me. Colby Covington built his whole mouth. 2016-17, I was 99% of his social media posts, right? Everything was Ty Quill or whatever the heck. He built his whole name off of me, and he finally got a fight against Damian Maia on Fox. Before then, what was he at? Fight Pass. Fight Pass in Asia. Think about that. So I don't need them for a legacy. I don't need anybody for a legacy. My legacy is going out there and showing people by actions, putting these forearms gloves upside your head and showing you that I'm the best. I punch the hardest. So I'm not over the hill. I'm really just getting started because, as I said before, what I've added, I never did a 6 a.m. cardio. So I'm adding. I never put myself in uncomfortable situations where I'm outputting so much volume in these 5 rounds and I'm tired. I'm doing strength conditioning right after it. Then I'm going to sleep and getting a massage. I haven't had a day off in 30 plus days. I haven't had one day off. So if people think I'm over the hill, I like that. I like that you think that. And I hope Colby thinks that.
Do you feel confident that it will happen? Because I feel like we're further along now than we have been in the past.
To be honest, no, man. This has been such a runaround to try and fight Tyron Woodley for the last 4 or 5 years. It's just the guy's making excuses. He's getting elective surgeries. You know, oh, he needs more time for training camp. He's doing this. He's doing that. You know, you would think with all the running and dodging he's done for me, Mike, that he would have this insane cardio. But no, he's getting gassed out by school teachers on some gladiator reality show.
Tyron has lost his last two back-to-back 5-rounders to Kamaru Usman and then to Gilbert Burns, and you have to believe that, you know, I'm a positive thinker. I'm reeking of positivity right now that this fight is going to happen on September 19th. So you got to believe his back's against the wall here. And if there's one fight that's going to get him going, it's probably this one. Do you think, you know, on September 19th, let's just say this all happens and goes smoothly, that he's going to come in with a little bit of a different approach, some more aggression? Maybe he fights a little more emotional because his rivalry has gotten so personal.
There's no doubt about it. You know, this rivalry is beyond personal. You know, this is for bragging rights for the rest of our lives. You know, there's no doubt that, you know, fighting me, he's going to get the biggest adrenaline and the biggest, you know, just motivation and it's inspiration to come out here and try and knock me out. You know, I mean, this fight sells in so many different ways. You know, we used to be teammates, you know, the Republican liberal angle, you know, the hatred we genuinely have for each other. So I think we're going to see the best Tyron Woodley we've ever seen in this fight. And, you know, speaking of his last two fights, you know, those guys, yeah, they beat him on the judges' scorecards. This fight ain't going to the judges' scorecards. I'm going to leave no doubt I am the best welterweight in the world. I'm going to add another world champion to my resume, my long list of amazing resume that I already have. And I'm going to finish him. It's not going to the judges' decisions. I promise you that. He will get left unconscious inside that octagon.
Obviously, the win is first and foremost, but with this fight with Tyron, you've been hoping it would happen for years now. What is the goal on September 19th outside of just getting the win and, you know, I guess just proving that you're the top welterweight in the world? Is there like a certain kind of finish that you're shooting for? Like, what is the main goal that'll satisfy you walking out of that octagon on September 19th if all goes well and this fight actually happens?
If Tyron Woodley does not leave the octagon on September 19th live on ESPN on a stretcher, then I didn't do my job. You know, I think the fight's going to speak for itself. I think that the fans are going to speak up and they're going to realize the way I finish Tyron Woodley and the way I leave him motionless inside that octagon, there will be no doubt who the best fighter in the world is. You know, those guys, yeah, they beat him in decisions, but none of them finished Tyron Woodley. I go out there and finish Tyron Woodley. I cement myself as the best welterweight in the world, and I cement myself for the next welterweight title shot. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Will the beef ever be squashed between the two of you guys? If you guys go in there and have a battle, you finish the man, is it over, or is it just going to continue on for forever and ever here?
No, this is a real beef, Mike. This isn't some manufactured beef like Marty Fake Newsman and Street Judas Masvidal tried to do, you know, where they're hugging at the end of the fight. Oh, bro, I love you. Good job. We made some money and we duped the fans and we tricked them all. This ain't that. Me and Tyron Woodley genuinely hate each other and we want to kill each other. And that's what's going to be inside the octagon. And when the business is finished, I got nothing to say to him. The only thing I'll probably say to him is, you know, I hope your mom's not watching. Mama Woodley, don't watch this fight. You don't want to see your son go unconscious in that octagon September 19th.
With the COVID restrictions, international travel is much harder to come by. And so seeing your old friend Mark Goddard as the third man in the cage would be very unlikely, I would guess. Who knows how things will look in a month, but as part of like the perks that you're looking for in this contract, is that Mark not be anywhere near this fight since you've had your issues with him coming out of the Usman fight?
Yeah, 100%. You know, the UFC knows that I'm not going to ever be in the same room, let alone building as him ever again. Mark Not So Goddard is not allowed at any fight I'm ever at. He can stay home and fucking in England, you know, at that anti-Brexit piece of shit. No more fucking me over, dude, man. And no one can say anything because he's so inconsistent with his calls. He calls the early stoppage on me. The next week, he lets Frankie Edgar die. The other week, he's taking away 3 points. The next week, he's letting another guy die. And then the next week, he's just so inconsistent. He's not a real ref. He's an impartial ref. He's a ref that's getting paid off to you know, take fights, you know, to pretty much, you know, let guys cheat. And it's not right. It's corrupt. And, you know, if I see that guy, I promise you, Mike, I'm not going to be able to hold back. You know, I'll probably end up in jail and, you know, it'll be worth it just to put a mark on that dude's face.
Speaking of Usman, you came on the show after the fight with Jorge Masvidal was made official, and you said, bet Kamaru Usman, bet the house on him. It's the easiest money you'll ever make. Was this the easiest money you ever made? Did you make some money off Kamaru Usman?
Yeah, I made $10,000, the easiest $10,000 I've ever made, you know, and I try to tell the people, I gave them the warning, you know, I told them what was going to happen and how it was going to happen. That's exactly what happened. He exposed the journeyman. the street Judas, Jorge Masvidal. He's all hype. He was just lightning and thunder. And then, I called it exactly what he was going to say. His excuse was already built in. Oh, I only had 6 days notice. Oh, I had to cut 20 pounds. Dude, you don't cut 20 pounds. You came up from lightweight, dude. You probably weigh 180 soaking wet, dude. That's an easy cut. And guess what, George? You didn't come in on a week's notice because Dustin Poirier, your training partner, is the one that exposed you in front of the whole world. Dustin came out in an interview the week of the fight, said, oh, George was in training camp for me versus Hooker the whole time. He's been training the last 3 months like he had a crystal ball, like he knew the fight was going to happen. So there's no excuses, man. That fight plays out 10 times out of 10 the same exact way that it did. It would be an ultimate footsie championship, and that's what the UFC stand for that night in that fight. It'd be an ultimate hugging match. They're kissing each other, yelling sweet nothing in each other's ears. It was a joke. I feel bad for the people that paid their hard-earned money to watch that. That's not fighting.